Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Eva, and in today's video I wanted to take you guys on a little quick tour of my raised garden beds and show you guys what they're looking like. As you can tell by the title of today's video, they're not in the best shape. They're not where I want them to be at, and compared to last year's crops, like all of my plants from last year looked 10 times better than they do this year, and I'm not sure why. I know there's been a lot of inconsistencies in the rain, and I know a lot of people who garden like all over the country are having issues with the rain, especially in the springtime. There was a lot of rain. It was really cold, and the crops just didn't take off as well as they should have. But beyond that, I'm having more problems. Beyond just the rain and the cold start that we had to the season, I'm also having a lot of issues, and I wanted to share those with you guys. So I'm gonna take you guys on a little tour of my raised garden beds here behind me. We're gonna talk about the good, because there are some good, and we're gonna talk about the bad. There's a lot of bad, but there are things that are good, and there are things that I'm very excited about and very happy about, and I thought I would share those with you guys as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I figured I would start the tour with the potatoes. In here, these 4 buckets are my potatoes. And as you can see, there's a difference between this bucket, these 2 buckets, and this bucket, and I figured I would tell you why. So this first bucket, the potatoes are really in rough shape. And that is because when I first transferred these, well, when I first put them in the buckets, when I put the seed potatoes in the buckets, my son came in here and he had water running. He was playing with water. The water was running, and he completely filled this bucket full of water and just left the water running for a long time, for maybe like 5 or so minutes. And I mean, of course, there's holes for drainage at the bottom of the buckets, but it was too much water for the water to drain, and I think the potatoes just got damaged at that point and they just never recovered. Over here, I have these 2 buckets, and the mixture of soil that I have in here, I believe I have perlite, vermiculite, and then I have just like regular topsoil, and then I have manure. But they're just not doing as good as this guy over here. The difference between these plants over here and these guys is what ended up happening is I ran out of this mixture of soil that I have in these 2 buckets, and so I only had a bit left, and I ended up using just like regular old, like a bagged potting mix from the store, and I put it in here just to like overcompensate for the fact that there was not enough soil, and this is the result. I cannot believe how beautiful the foliage is. I mean, you can't even compare these leaves to the leaves on this plant. You just can't. It's ridiculous. So that's one thing I've learned this year, is that maybe next year just use like a regular standard potting mix for the potatoes and they'll do just fine. They'll actually do better than if I make my own mix, because there is like, I can't compare them. It's crazy. So this by far is the best one, and I'm so happy and I'm so proud. And I think these potatoes look even better than the potatoes I grew last year, just in terms of the foliage. So I can't wait to see what the potatoes look like out of this bucket compared to these 2 buckets. I don't think these ones are going to actually produce any potatoes. This is the way that I go into the garden beds. Okay, so where are we going to start? I thought we'd start here. These are the mini bell tomatoes, and this is what they're looking like right now. They have started flowering. They have started producing tomatoes, and these guys are pretty short, and I knew that they were not gonna be like super tall tomato plants, but they're doing pretty well. I'm actually surprised that I have tomato plants. I didn't think that I was actually gonna have actual tomatoes at this point, because they kind of didn't start off very strong, but look at them now. They look really good. I'm really happy, and they're producing really well, and there's a lot of flowers. I have been coming in here and I've been pinching off suckers if I see any, just to promote growth, because there are a whole bunch of suckers. But these are the mini bell tomatoes, and you know what, you guys, I'm not sure what's going on with these guys, because as far as I know, these are the same variety of tomatoes, but as you can clearly tell, they're nothing alike. These guys here, these 2 and these 3, look nothing alike. So I'm not sure what's up with that. Over on this side here, I have the Tomito tomato, which actually needs to be staked because they're starting to fall over. These guys are not doing as well as the other guys. These ones they're just now starting to produce flowers. There's no tomatoes yet on this one. these two plants, this one over here and this one over here, there's no tomato plants, but this one is doing a lot better than the others, and it does have some tomatoes already growing. As you can see, there's one there, there's some here, and this one is looking really, really good. It's really healthy, it's really tall, and they definitely need to be held up somehow. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to stake them up so they're not falling. On either side of the tomatoes, here in the middle, we have Tabasco peppers. And you guys, this is one of my biggest disappointments in the garden. Look how tiny these guys are. It's like it looks like I just took them out of the seed starting containers maybe like 2 weeks ago, and they've been in here a whole month, and they haven't grown at all. I'm not sure what it is I did wrong, because this is the same exact soil. The same soil that's over here is the same soil that's over here. The tomatoes are doing good. The Tabasco peppers, they have not taken off at all. That is very disappointing. So this is the Tabasco behind me. And then right over here, all over here, this is amaranth. And look at how beautiful the amaranth is. And look how nice and green the leaves are. These are actually ready for harvest. And the way that I like to cook them is to just saute them with a little bit of onion, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of olive oil, and then I just saute them, and they are delicious. They taste amazing. I love them. I'm very happy with them. They've really, really done well. Some of them are doing a little bit better than others over here, but we're going to be thankful for these ones that are doing amazing. And then over here, starting from over there, coming all the way around to here, these are broccoli plants. And these ones, they're not doing as good as I was expecting them to, or as I would have imagined them to be doing at this stage of the summer. I've never grown broccoli before, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I didn't think that they would go so slowly, I guess. All right, so moving on to this corner of the bed. This is the bed that I actually abandoned completely last year. This used to be, this was the first, as you can see, it's like its own little square. This was the first little section of garden I ever had when we first moved here, when I was pregnant with my son, and I couldn't really do a lot of gardening, so all I could work with really was just like this little square of garden space. Last year, I didn't grow anything in it because the soil in here was terrible. Because when I first started, I didn't know anything about soil, but I've improved over the years. But last year, I didn't grow anything in here. This year, look at this, you guys. Amazing. So if we get a little bit closer, you guys can see this is more amaranth in here. I had so many amaranth seedlings, I needed a place to put all of them, and I do like having lots and lots of them because I can make like a whole meal that we can all eat out of the leaves once I harvest them. But I haven't done that yet, but I'll be doing that in the very, very near future. And then over here, this is another potato plant. I actually have 3 of these in here. I have this one, that one over there, and I needed a place to put these I had like 3 extra potato seedlings, and I needed a place to put them, so I just figured I'd put them in here. They're not growing as big as this guy over here, this big massive one, but you know, they're growing. They're doing all right. Okay, so over there, 1, 2, and 3, those are lemon cucumbers. The rest of them are at the community garden, but I have 3 of them here, and they're doing amazing. You guys know last year I failed at my cucumbers. They just never grew. But this year we have a little bit of better luck. They're growing. They're not as huge as I would have expected them to be, but they're, you know, they're there. So we're going to be thankful again for them. And then over here, all over here, this one back here, there's a string here. There's another one back there, down there. There's another one here, there, and this one, which is like almost my height. These are cucamelons, you guys. Look at how cute these cucamelons are. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see, but do you see that? That is a cucamelon growing. I've never grown cucamelons before, so I don't even know what to expect, but I definitely know, like, if we go over here to this guy over here, you guys can see that this is definitely a cucamelon growing right there. Right over here. That's a cucamelon for sure. I cannot wait for the cucamelons to start growing. They're doing amazing. Like especially these tall guys over here. This one is just, wow, I love them. I'm definitely growing these again next year. I've been shocked at how they've just taken off, and I've kind of built this like little support system for them, where I just have like part of the fencing like just up here so that they have somewhere to grow once they, because I knew they were just growing so much faster than I expected, and I didn't really have a plan for how I was gonna trellis them. So I just came up with this little system, and it seems to be working good so far. So those are the cucamelons. They're beautiful. I love them so much. I can't wait to see what the cucamelons look like once they've like fully matured. Okay, so if we come to this side of the garden, over here we have Swiss chard and a volunteered tomato plant that I decided to not uproot and throw away because, and there's another one over here too. I kind of want to see what they're gonna turn out to look like once they are fully mature. But anyway, over here we have Swiss chard. I can't say I'm too thrilled about how they look at this point, especially this late in the summer. I feel like they should be a lot bigger, but I did add some fertilizer to these guys, and especially in this bed, and I'm thinking that that's helping, so I'm going to continue doing that over the next couple of weeks just to kind of like boost their growth. But you know, so far so good. I haven't had a harvest from these guys yet, but now that the leaves are looking a lot bigger, I think I will. All right, over here, oh my goodness, this is so sad, you guys. This is my kale. You guys know the issues I had with kale last year. I was hoping this year by buying a different variety of kale that things would be different, but they're not. They are slightly different in the fact that they are not getting completely decimated. I mean, this is pretty bad, but this is the only one that's been like, that's in this bad of a condition with the caterpillars and the worms and stuff. But the rest of them actually look pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. But I did think that they would be a lot bigger at this stage than what they look like now. I mean, the ones that I had last year and the year before, they were massive. This is tiny, like puny, just so small. I can't even believe it. I don't even know when I'm gonna have a chance to harvest this. I'm probably gonna start harvesting them at the end of the summer, like the end of July, when I really thought at this point I would be harvesting them once a week, and I haven't. Not even a single harvest out of these guys. And then over here we have broccoli. I have a lot of broccoli, and I usually have it I have it under this netting, but I've moved it just so that I'm able to come over here. But I usually have it covered with netting just because the birds, I'm too wary of the birds to remove the netting, so it's still there. So this is the broccoli. It's doing pretty good, actually. It's taken off since I added the fertilizer, but I'm having some issues, like you guys can see, with caterpillars, and I don't know what this guy is over here, but I'm having some issues, which is pretty disappointing, and I'm really hoping that I do end up having like some broccoli crops, but oh, this is bad. Really bad. I'm not sure what this is. If any of you guys know what this is, please let me know in the comments and how I can get rid of it. So that is a little other patch of broccoli over here. Over here we have the tomatoes. I'm quite disappointed in tomatoes this year, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie. This is my other greatest disappointment, because last year the tomatoes were amazing. They were beautiful, they were tall, they were just amazing. And it's the same variety of tomatoes that I had last year that I have in here. I have the regular cherry tomatoes in here, but then I also have black cherry tomatoes over here as well, which is my first time growing those variety, but they're not where they were last year. At this time last year, they were almost as tall as me, and you can see this guy is like ridiculously short. I mean, I do have tomatoes and I do have a lot of flowers, but the stems are not as thick as they should be. They're not as strong as the plants should be. They're not producing as intensely as I thought that they would be producing at this stage of the year. But you know, there's something. So I am thankful for that, but they're just not at the stage where I thought they'd be at, especially given the fact that we are in July already. So that is everything that I have going on in the garden beds. That's a overview. So we're gonna go up on my porch, and I'm gonna show you what I have going on the porch, and then we're gonna end the video there. I don't know how well you guys are able to see this, but over here we have more Swiss chard growing in the crates. Disappointing. They're so small. I haven't given any fertilizer to these guys, so maybe that's the reason why. But I do plan on adding fertilizer to these in the next the next week or so. I actually ran out of fertilizer, so I don't have any. But you know, they're okay. I haven't harvested them, and I'm not sure when at this point I'm gonna be able to even get a harvest out of these. But this is pretty disappointing. I'm not even gonna lie. Finally, over here we have the pineapple tomatillos, you guys. And you know what? I hadn't even seen this. I was out here earlier today and I hadn't noticed that we have some flowers. That is so exciting. You know, I thought that they were gonna be a lot taller because they're still like a very, very short size. I thought they were gonna be a lot taller before they started producing flowers, but you know what? I'm glad to see this. These ones I'm actually really happy about because I was very, very late in transferring them out of the seed starting containers, and I actually started off with these guys by transferring these guys, and then I finished off with these ones, so that's why these ones are a lot smaller, and these ones haven't started producing flowers yet. Like these ones don't even look as nearly as big as these guys do. That's because I was really late in transferring them out of their seed starting containers. But you know what? I'm so happy with them, especially given that this is my first time growing tomatillos. I'm really impressed with how far they've come, because I was starting to think that they were going to look like the Tabasco peppers, where they just like were not growing. But ever since I transferred them, they've taken off and they look amazing, and I'm so happy to see that they've started flowering. So I can't wait to see what they're going to look like in the next couple of weeks. I'm just looking for more flowers. I don't think there's any, but I can't wait to see how they're gonna look like in the next couple of weeks. So I'm very excited about this. So that is everything that I have going on in the garden beds right now. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff that's just like meh, you know, that's not really giving me a lot of excitement when I come out here. And the funny thing is that the stuff that I've grown in the past is the stuff that I seem to be struggling the most with this year. Especially like the tomatoes and the peppers. I've grown tomatoes and peppers the last like 3, maybe 4 years. Because when I first started, I was growing them in containers, and then when we moved here, I grew them in the little square that I showed you guys earlier. But this new stuff that I've never grown before, like the the cucamelons, I've never grown those, and they're taking off. I've never grown amaranth, it's taking off. I've never grown the tomatillos. They're doing amazing too. And all the new varieties of tomatoes are doing amazing. The cucumbers they're doing good. I've grown those in the past, but I didn't grow them last year, and now they're doing good. But the cherry tomatoes and the peppers, I've grown those before, and they're just, I don't know, I can't explain it. But anyways, that is the end of today's video. I hope to see you guys in my next video. I'm getting ready to start my hydroponics down in my basement, so I've been doing a lot of shopping for that, and I'm hoping to finish doing all of that and getting all together the next week or so. So I will see you guys in next week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Instagram. I have a new Instagram account where I share with you guys all the things that I don't share on my YouTube channel. So you guys should follow me there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also to hit the thumbs up button. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.